Everyone, it's Sue here from Scrappy Juice Sue. I've come on today to do another episode of this floral journal using the journal cover that I made from Zoe at Razza Crafts kit that I bought over 2 years ago. So we've stuck in the signatures. These were sewn to a piece of book cloth. Now I have to stick this book cloth down, so I'm going to do that now. And then we can cover the inside cover. So I'm going to make sure I'm using my Beacon 3-in-1 glue because it's the strongest. That one's finished. I'm just trying to get the last dregs out of it. Don't like wasting things, especially this sort of glue because it's not cheap really. But this one is very loath to come out of the bottle. No, I once heard on the crafting community grapevine that this Beacon 3-in-1 glue is difficult to use in the winter months because it doesn't like the cold temperature. So just giving that a bit more down there now, and let's put the lid on and leave it on its side. That might help. And then I'm going to stand this up, press down this book cloth here, get a good press. So this is the first time I've ever sewn signature to book cloth page, book cloth it's called, rather than sew them in through the spine. So I'm going to do the same on this side. And I must say, I like the effect, I like the finished product. This was designed to have 5 signatures, and I've chickened out and only put 3 in, because it's also the first time I've ever used a 5 signature stitch, pamphlet stitch, if you like to call it that. The 5 hole pamphlet stitch, I think it's possibly called. I've only ever used the 3, and you know, I get on all right with the 3 now. And I didn't think I could cope with the 5 holes for each signature plus 5 signatures to go onto this book cloth. So again, I'm just giving it a good press down here, like so, and then we have our signatures. So if I've put 3 in, I have got a gap between each one, but I don't mind that, simply because I'm going to be filling up the signatures and it gives me a bit of extra wiggle room. So I want to cover the inside with some cardstock. This is a sheet from 12 by 12 pack, Bo Bunny pack, called Rose Cafe, which is really lovely, the green. I like this side. It's called Rose Cafe Garden, but I don't know if I want this side on the front and back. I'd rather have this, you know, more green botanical side to it. So I think that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to remeasure my cover. Always keep measuring, though, unless you're really sure. So it's 8 3/4 tall, and it is, let's see, that's inches, 8 3/4 inches tall. And to make sure I know where the crease is for this, so 6 inches wide, 6 by 8 3/4 inches, or in centimeters, 22 1/4 centimeters tall, and 15 wide. So I want, in theory, I want, there should be the same size front and back. So I want two 8 3/4. So this is 12 inches wide. So let's get the pencil out and we'll mark it on the rose side. So we have to discount the top here. That I'm going to take off. Let me get my paper cutter that will actually take that in one go. And I'm going to line that up. And just take off that top there to start with. Right, okay, now we can work out if we've got enough for this. I hope we have. So it's got some writing, book page in the background, so I can tell it has got one direction. So I'm going to do it on this side, aren't I? So I'm going to measure 8 3/4. It's 6 wide there. Okay, so that's half of it. I'm just going to measure once more. I'll do it from the front because that's easier. Yeah, 6, because I don't want it going edge to edge. So bring back my cutter and I'm going to measure 6 across and cut down. So that is there, like so. Perfect. Okay, so making sure it's the right way up, which it is, I now have to measure 8 3/4 down each side. Which is that one. And that one. Just make sure that's right. About there. Okay. Let's use the small guillotine. Now, I can never see my mark. The paper has some marks on it too. So that's one. And that's two. Okay, hopefully those are the same size now. One's slightly shorter. Hopefully this one's too tall. That needs some off. And then this one over here definitely needs some off. See, I measure and then I realise, and as I said, I don't want it edge to edge, so this is just fine because it's a little bit away from the edge and the inside there. So I'm just going to mark the top and the bottom there. I'm just going to mark there. We'll do that one first. Probably a good idea to mark it on a dark piece, to mark it with a colour that you can actually see, because of the piece, the rose side of it had you know, dark bits here, the dark green, and it's very hard to see a pencil. So that's that one. So I'm going to now stick that in on the back, and I'm going to use my art glitter glue for that. Now, do I want to round the corners? That would be quite nice actually. So I'm going to use my corner rounder, the 10mm, and I'm going to round the corners. Before I stick it down. As well as, I'm just going to go round it with my Vintage Photo Distress ink. This is my go-to because I can see where I've cut it. There are white edges, so just want to only just, you know, touch the edges really. It doesn't need to be really dark. And then we can, making sure we're up the right way, we can now stick this down. Got a little bit of wiggle room, so I just want to make sure it's even, top as even as possible, top and bottom and side to side, and give that a good press down. There we are. So that's that one, like so. I like that. And then this piece, keeping it up that way, I can work better this way round, so I'm going to take off again just a fraction here. Okay, now I've made a really dark mark there. Just leave that for a second, so make sure that's upside down, and that should be perfect. So again, just going to go around it with the, oh, let's round the corners first before we do that. 10mm, like so. Like so. And I've got this upside down because I can work better with it this side round, so I have to remember that. The pieces that we've got left over, I'm thinking why not use them on the inside and the back cover, but use them with the rose side showing, and make some tucks or pockets, something like that. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that really funny noise. That Paddy had a ball for Christmas called a giggle ball. When you move it, it makes this really strange, almost like duck-like sound, giggly, funny noise. I don't think he's actually sure what to make of it. Okay, so that's right round that way. Press that down. I'm not happy with the way that looks, so I'm just cleaning that up. It wasn't as straight as it looked the other way round. There's something not right about it, or something not right about this cover maybe. It's still sticky, so I'm just reposition that. I'd rather there be an uneven gap here than around the sides and along the top. I'm just going to press it down again and give it a little bit more glue up here now. Like that, and I can just go around it, around the edges again. Like so. Right, so that's the inside front cover and the inside back cover, like that. And as I say, it's better to have a bit of a gap here, so not too happy with that. I'm just going to trim that down. I think it needs a little bit off the side, so let's do that quickly. I don't think anything's ever 100% even when you do covers. I don't think they're, you know, completely 100% even all the way around, especially when you use material. So I'm just going to go around that bit where I just cut it. I'd rather it be right now before it screws itself down than stick with this side. I'll do the best I can, because what I don't want is for it to catch every time this opens and shuts, and that's what it was doing. You know, you can always change things. Oh, that's better. That's much better. Right, let's put some more glue on here. Keep thinking when I turn it over that this side's upside down, but this side I don't think has any direction as such. Although I can see some script writing in the background, so you know, I must make sure that when I do use those pieces, I make sure it's upright. Really, if I know something has a direction, I'm not keen on using it upside down. Very funny about things like that. Fussy, really, I suppose. I keep telling myself it is a junk journal. Anything goes, anything, you know. Just if I happen to know about it, I just... Right, that's much better now. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So, and it shuts better. So the back shuts properly and the front. Okay, may need to stick that down. Well, it's not completely stuck. I might go down the side there with some Beacon 3-in-1 once that's dried. But these, we can use this side, and yes, there is an up, and yes, there is a right way up and down. But I don't like the way the roses look. I prefer it that way up. And that one. Very strange. Anyway, that could be a nice pocket there. We could have a double pocket with that there if we wanted, or we could have one at the back, put something else at the front. Yeah, I'm not too keen. I don't know, there's something about this, it's a bit too bright for me. Middle signature is has more sort of yellows in it, so we might use those as pockets in the middle signature, so we'll hang on to those. Okay, so now we've done that, these are all the pages for decorating, and I'm going to be making some, we can stick these pockets down that we made. I'll just go around these cut edges. I just made a double pocket by turning that piece up like so. So we can actually stick those down. So I'm just going to put a bead of glue up either side like that. And do the same with this one. Like that. Let's put the pin in that. It's got all bent, that pin. Right, so that's that. Have we got any more? I've got this one here, which is a sort of a pocket. We could find the halfway mark of that. Only a rough guesstimate, and then just put a thumb hole in, so it's about just under 6, be about here. Put the thumb hole in while we're going through it before we glue that side down. And then we can glue this side down, and that will be a nice pocket. So just doing a thin bead down here like that. And there'll be another side to this, so it'll be the same on this side. So again, I'm just going to measure I'm not measuring really, I'm just guiding myself to where I think the thumb hole should be. And keep the lid on that distress ink. It does dry out very quickly, so that's okay. So get some more glue and just going to go down, thin bead down the side there. Two up there. Oh gosh, I can't even see where to put the pin in. I must clean that glue. It's blobby at the top. So that's another pocket done there. See if we've got anything else we want to glue down while we're going through it before we start thinking about things to make. So this is going to be a pocket, I think, or I could stick a pocket onto that, or stick something over the front of it to make a side tuck. and something over the back. That would be quite nice. So we'll have a side tuck, I think. So that means I need to trim off the very edge of this, which I'll do now. Like that. So we've got our side tuck, and I will reinforce it. So probably decorate the front and the back, and just going to glue that flat down there with some glue stick, like that. Flatten that down. So we've got a side pocket there. What else have we got? Going to do some artwork on that. This one's already got the side opening. It's got a nice flap, so that one we will cover and strengthen. I like to strengthen this bit where you're going to be putting things in and out. Just having a quick flick through now. Things we need to do. So that pocket's done, that's done. That's the first signature. Just go through the second one quickly. We've got our envelope here, and we could have that as an opening flap at the top, or we can have it as a side opening. Might glue that down and make that a top flap, or I could just cut that there and have a flap. Let's just cut that with our knife, and I'm just getting the knife. I'm just going to get this. I'm going to gently make a cut down here, as close to that as I can get without cutting the signature out. Okay, let's put the ruler underneath, and we can press a bit harder. I don't think this knife is terribly sharp at the moment. I need to break a piece of the blade off. I don't like doing that, but that's what you do. You break a piece off. Gosh. I don't know if this was a good idea. Doesn't want to go, so we're going to stick it down. Okay, we'll stick it down. It's a shame, because I'd quite like to have had a sort of flappy envelope there. I should have thought about that. And maybe, I think it's nearly there. Will I be able to do it with my scissors? I don't think so. Have my knife letter opener. Ah, that worked. It had gone through. The knife had gone through, but not. So I've got my flap, which I can just neaten the edge off. First of all, I just take a tiny, tiny piece off the side like that to neaten that up, and then I will use the try the 7mm corner rounder with. We need a bit of card on the back of that. Because the corner rounder doesn't like thin paper. So I'm bolstering the back of it with a bit of scrap cardboard. Right. Okay, let's... Gosh, I have these ideas, so they don't always come to anything. I'm just going to even that up. That's okay. Right. So there's our flap there. We can make a nice little button closure, you see. I'll put something in there like that. So that's that side. I think we'll probably do something different on the other side. So we've stuck those pockets down in the middle. That's signature. And here's the other side. So I think the other side, we'll stick the flap down and have a top opening pocket. So we'll stick the flap down now, and only needs to be stuck down around the just around the flap edge. Otherwise you will stick the inside and then nothing will go in it. So we've stuck that down now, and we can cover that over, and then all we need to do, I just want to keep popping the lid on this because it's oozing, is just take a slither off the top of here so that we've got a top opening pocket there, and we'll just eyeball. That hasn't stuck down there. We'll eyeball where to put the thumb mark. Let's just make sure that needs to be in there so I can stick that properly. Like that. And then I'm going to eyeball a thumb hole. Just quickly see where halfway is. So that's 2 and 3. So it's about there. I'm just going to push it up open like that so that I can get this in, and then I can see where they... No, I knew this was not going to like this, and the envelope has come open again. Now this is stuck. Having a lot of trouble with this. I need a new one, I think. Okay, let me just stop. Goodness, that was very difficult. First of all, this would not stick down, so I had to use beacon 3 and 1 to stick it. And then this nearly tore. I've managed to do a rough sort of thumb hole, but what I think I'll do is probably cover this with some paper, something, and cut it out again. I think that was very difficult to do. In fact, what I might do is cut both sides, put the thumb hole in both sides. When you turn it over, you've got the same thumb hole. Right, that was very difficult. So let's just check. That's the middle signature, and the last signature here. We we've got these side tucks here. You need to stick either side of those down. But I think what I'll do first is I'll line those with some thicker card, because then it will give them a bit more stability. So these are some bits I've cut from something else. I'm just literally going to stick a piece down either side, trim it off, and then that will give it some stability on that edge there. So let's just quickly do that. So we'll just glue that down. Just not quite to the edge, like that. That will be on the inside anyway. And a bit of glue there. Trim that off, like so. And it's going to be a side pocket, side tuck. So I want to put a bit of a thumb hole in. Oh, I'm not having much luck with them though, am I? I want to put some hole about there, which is halfway. I think that's thick enough now for this to actually behave itself. It was. I'm just going to go around that. This vintage photo. And I would quite like to round the corners. So we'll just do 7mm, I think. Like so. And then we can stick that down. So that's given that a little bit of stability there and there. Like that. And then we'll do the same on this side here. So again, I'll just take a strip of scrap and glue that down. Not quite to the edge, but close enough. That's it. I'm just going to trim that end off. Like so. Just put a tiny smidgen of glue there. Measure my halfway mark. I've made the mark on the wrong bit. I'm feeling a lot better today than I have done for a long time. So COVID has lasted over 10 days. And wrong thing. Still a bit woolly headed, as you could probably tell. So hopefully I get to go into the office this week. Seems like ages. I haven't been back since before Christmas, but just working from home, which I'm lucky I can do. But I've got things I need to do in the office, so I will have to go in. Right, so that's that one. So I think that's this way round, isn't it? Okay, and then nice. Right. Okay. So we're just going to think about pockets now for the inside covers. And then we'll call that another episode. And then we'll start looking at ephemera. I have got some kind of ephemera made up that in my stash, so we'll go through that next time and see what we can use already, and then we can make whatever else we need to make. And then obviously I want to decorate the front cover, so today we're concentrating on the inside covers. Now I'm not too keen on this, not too keen. So we want some other papers. That would be nice. Just going to get those. Okay, so I've got a scrap from a piece that we put inside this one. So I've got this left over. I thought, well, this side of it would make a nice pocket either side. We have matching, I think, and it will kind of goes with that back page and also that one. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to cut that in half and make a couple of just pockets, so that whoever has the journal can actually use it to pop things in, bits and pieces, you know. Cool. Going around the corners. I think I'm going to have it this size, I've decided. Okay, that doesn't like that edge much. I'm just going to trim that one down a tiny bit and redo that corner. That's better. It didn't mind the other side. It's just that edge it didn't like. Okay, let's get rid of the rubbish as we go. And we're going to fold those. We'll do them one at a time. So I wanted the pockets to be quite thick card. What am I doing? This awful corner. A circle punch. Well, I'm not very happy with. It's not on my best friends list today. It's not been playing ball. It's been playing up. You can easily be replaced, which I can think about doing when I've kind of used up my budget, I think, for my craft materials. I have to set a budget, because otherwise I just keep spend. I'm just going to go through this. I ordered some bits from the Fruit Pixie, which I haven't had yet, and I've ordered some seam binding and ribbons, bits of lace from a couple of Etsy shops. I'll show you them when they come. I only just ordered them, and that's it. I'm not buying anything else. I don't really need it. It's just every time I do a new journal, I feel I need to order new things. It's weird, isn't it? And yet I've got lots of things in my stash, I'm lucky enough to say. Okay, so this one is going to go on here just like that. I'm going to get split it up, hold the end that you don't want to stop down, put a thin bead down the edges. My hands are a bit shaky today, and along the bottom like that, and then I'm going to actually position it on the rounded corners of this page here that we covered the inside cover with. And there's our first pocket, and I like that because I like the green matches in there like that. I'm just going to pop that in there so they don't stick. That's happened to me before. And then we'll do the same with this one. This is a paper pad by Craft Consortium, I think it is. One of the garden I want to say episode, that's not right, one of the garden packs that she does. She, I don't know if it's a lady, I don't really know much about them. That they have quite a few packs, like Secret Garden, Woodland. Just get this one and show you. After I'm talking about it, I should show you really, so you know what I'm going on about. English Garden, and it's a Hackney & Co. 12 by 12, double-sided, 150 GSM papers, and it is Craft Consortium that sell it. It's very, very pretty. The front actually has these tags and things that you can cut out, and it has some lovely double-sided, so you get more than one of each page, and some are pearlescent. They've got little mice on and some mushrooms and rabbits. And the other sides, I like all of them really. And nests and birds on the side, butterflies, and lovely colours. So I wanted to use, so this is the paper we just used, and then we've got strawberries here, which is more of a pearlescent side, that one, which I quite like. Very, very pretty indeed. So we may use some more of that inside, but I quite like to make a whole journal out of this. Quite like to do that, so I don't want to use too much of it. It's terrible. We're all hoarders, I think. We have all these things just to, it's like Gollum and his ring, isn't it? My, what is it you called it? My pretty. That's what I'll be doing with all my stuff. Get it out, have a look at it, say, oh, that's lovely, my pretty, and then put it back. Don't use it. I'm just going to put a bead of Beacon 3 in one down here. This does not stick down with the art glitter glue. But I'm not putting much in. It looks like I am, but it's because it won't come out of the bottle. Doesn't want to come out and play today. It says it's too cold. Honestly, we can't complain about cold after seeing the poor people in America with the awful blizzards, and oh, it's just absolutely awful. My heart goes out to you all, it really does. So we've got our pockets, simple pockets. No, I'm not going to gusset, it's just something to pop something in, and we can start working on some of these pages soon. Okay, so the next episode I think is going to be decorating the front and the back. So I'm going to go away and look for some ideas for this. Do the front and the back over the top of this calico. Okay, so I see you again soon. It's taking shape now, isn't it? Lovely. Got lots to do. Okay, I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye, everyone.